Hey guys, welcome to my 6-month Harbor Freight rotary tumbler review. This is a video I've been excited to do for a long time, and as I thought about the content or what I wanted to share with you guys about it, I've broken it down into two parts to avoid clickbaity titles, so you can watch the episode that you really want to watch. If you want the straight up review, this is the episode for you. I'm just going to talk about my experiences and what I've learned from these things, about using these things. And then the next video is going to be the modifications I make to these. One of the modifications I have not made yet, and we'll go from there. So probably the first thing I should talk about with these tumblers is my reason for buying one. The biggest reason I probably bought one initially is I had a 25% off coupon for any single item at Harbor Freight, and on a $70 tumbler, that was a great deal. That was a great deal. I walked out the door with this unit paying $48 and some change. And I figured, if nothing else, I mean, the barrels alone are worth, I find them on average about $25 for the entire barrel. That includes washer, top, lids, etc. The price alone covered the cost of the barrels, let alone the rotary shaft, the pulleys, the extra belts you get, the motor, etc., the chassis. So it was a good deal in my book. Then my wife went out and got me another one when she found out how long it took to tumble rocks. And I told her it was going to take a couple months, and she was a little surprised at the length of time it would take. But so she got me a second unit. She paid a little more. She got on a Black Friday deal, but still a great deal. I think it was $63 retail plus tax. So that would have been roughly the price. I haven't asked, and I'm not going to because it was a gift. I mean, that's really the reason I got these, is because they're so dirt cheap. I knew nothing about tumbling. If nothing else, I'd learn. And because I'd watched so many videos on the internet about people breaking these down into their component parts and then making their own version of a tumbler. And really, honestly, after working with these things, rotary tumblers are one of the easiest machines on the planet. It's simply a motor with a belt to a pulley. The pulley turns a shaft. The shaft turns a barrel. There is not any more complicated than that. And just like any tumbler, they have a few weaknesses, rotary tumbler. Probably the biggest thing with these is with the Harbor Freight or a Chicago Electric tumblers, the Chicago Electric being the brand, Harbor Freight being where you get that brand. These tumblers aren't actually designed for rocks per se. Now, when I say that, they are dual 3-pound drums. So they are meant to handle 6 pounds of media. But they're meant for short-term use, cleaning parts, cleaning ammo cases, that sort of thing. Not really being run 24/7 on rocks. And I will also say that they are 3-pound tumblers. With that being said, they will not handle barrels that get over 3 pounds each. You can fudge it up a little bit. I think when I started measuring the weight, if I go up to about a ½ pound over extra between the two barrels, it'll run okay. I go anything more than that and it really starts to bog down, it overheats a little bit, and it runs into some problems. I will also say that I've been running these things 6 months nonstop, and this unit here that my wife got me, and we got them from the same store 2 weeks apart. So they're probably made in the same batch, maybe, probably. And this unit has been fabulous. Zero worries. The only thing I've done for this is replaced a couple of belts. The belts break once in a blue moon, and okay, a little more commonly than that, but it's been running great. I just lubricated on a regular schedule, but the bushings are starting to wear out, because it's been running nonstop for 5 months now. I've had this one a little shorter of a time. It's been running nonstop for 5 months. The bushings are starting to get a little worn. I have to lubricate it every couple of days now, as opposed to a couple of weeks when I first got it. So maybe if I'd had a quicker lubrication schedule in the beginning, maybe I wouldn't have to lubricate it now. So this one has been fantastic, and it's been running great. And my warning that it's not a rock tumbler, or not a rotary tumbler, you can kind of pretty much ignore that. This one, on the other hand, the one that I purchased, is a bit of a monster. I've had, right off the bat, it was breaking belts. Again, the only real maintenance I've done, other than replacing the nylon stops with the doors, I've replaced the belts, And there's just another modification I'm going to be doing here very shortly to get rid of the bushings altogether and replace some bearings. But you'll be able to check that in the next video. And the belt, I'll discuss the belt I use, and I'll discuss how I went to these and why. But otherwise, it's been pretty simple to use. It's just I've been constantly breaking belts until I got the new belts, and yeah, it's just been a bit more finicky. But still, I have to say that overall, for the price, they're fantastic. I've gotten, well, you've watched my What Came Out of the Tumblers video series, and maybe, if not, you can check them out. And they produce great rocks. I'm not the world's best or most experienced rock tumbling guy, so take that, my results with a grain of salt, but they've been working great. I love the things. I'm going to put the modifications into them. With the modification that I'm going to put on these things, it's still, I think, like $30 or $40 cheaper than, let's say, a lower tone 33B. So, and I gotta say, if I'm going to break this down into the final part of this video, as a con, they do tend to be a bit finicky, and you are going to have to do a little bit of DIY to get these things going and get them running smooth. They do require frequent lubrication. You are going to have to get a change of belt, and like I said, I'll get into that belt. I found the perfect belt for these. You'll have to check that in the next video. For the other con would be that they are not designed for rocks. They're not really designed to be run 24/7. Of course, I say that, and I have been running them 24/7 for the last 6 months. So take it with a grain of salt. They run great. The pro is they're dirt cheap, and you can actually buy these things for less than the component parts. And that was my ultimate goal, to get a tumbler, and I figured when these things, the motors burned out or whatever went wrong with them, some catastrophic failure, I'd part them out and I'd make my own tumbler. And so far they've been running well enough. I haven't had to part them out and turn them into their components. So I'm very happy with them. And you see reviews where people say they hate these things, and you see reviews where people say they love these things. They're great, they're no touch. I can honestly say that both reviews are absolutely correct. Like I said, this unit has been nothing but a pain in my neck. It's been finicky. I've had to make constant adjustments to it and to get it to run right. Whereas this unit, I've changed belts and lubricated it, and it's run just fine. So yeah, if it was a 6-month review, if I'm telling you 6 months later after purchasing these things, should you get a Harbor Freight tumbler, just check the pros and cons. I mean, they're cheap, they run great. The disadvantage is that they're going to take probably a little more work than other units on the market, but honestly, how much more? Every single rock tumbler on the planet is going to go through belts. It's going to go through the bushings bearings where the rotor, the rotor shafts hit, and then it's going to have the spots, the guides that keep it on the rollers. Those 3 points are always going to wear out in any rotary tumbler ever. And so to say that's the downside with these things is not really fair, because it's going to be a downside to every rotary tumbler ever. So if you're looking for an entry-level tumbler, and I'm not getting paid by Harbor Freight for this or anything else, these are great little units. They're fun, they're easy to use. You get 2 barrels going, so if you just want to get one for the household, they're not super noisy. It's been pretty quiet. I run them without the heat shield on, so it gets a little noisier, but it's still not very noisy at all. That comes with a little, run these at your own risk. I don't have any kids or pets that are little kids that are going to stick their fingers in there, so there are a couple hazards that go with that. But yeah, so I've been running without heat shield. It's a little noisier, but they're still super quiet. And I just put a little towel under them when I have them in the house, and I prop up one end just a bit so the drum's always run against these rollers. I mean, you can hear them when occasionally I've left them on when I've recorded videos, and you can kind of hear them in the background. But otherwise, throughout the house, when we're going about our daily lives, you can't really hear it. And it's a beautiful white noise generator if that helps you to sleep at all. So there's my review. I'm not going to tell you to run out and buy one, but I'm telling you that if you're looking for a cheap unit and you're willing to put up with possibly a little DIY, great. If not, get the warranty. I think they sell for 16 bucks for parts, maintenance. You can replace it, whatever. Get that for 16 bucks, and then if you get up a little bit of a lemon, you can take it back until you get the one that runs well. And like I said, they probably came out of the same batch. One's just a little more finicky than the other. So there you go. I hope it helped. I hope you can make a decision now on whether you like the Chicago Electric rotary tumblers. So yeah, 6 months down the road, I know when I first bought them, I said they were great tumblers, and now 6 months down the road, I still think it's a great tumbler. Would I go with another brand? Probably not. To be honest, I don't know what more I would expect out of another rotary tumbler. I expect drums that turn rough rocks into smooth stones, and that's what these do. So I'm gonna get started on the next video, the modifications video, and I'll let you see what I do for the belts, what I've done here for the back end. I gotta tighten that back down. And I'll let you see, I'm gonna make a modification. I'm gonna get rid of these bushings altogether, so get something that lasts a very long time. So if you're interested in the modifications and want to continue with the Harbor Freight review, check the next video. You'll find a link at the end of the video or in the description down below. And thanks for watching the review. I hope it helps you, and I hope it helps you make an educated decision on whether these types of tumblers are good for you, or whether you want to spend a little more to get a little higher unit. So thanks, and I'll catch you in a few minutes in the next episode. Bye.